Shocking gymnastics scandal.
Sexual abuse at the hands of her team's doctor.
Larry
More
Nassar.
than 130 women.
3 under the age of 13.
Rocking the world of gymnastics.
Gymnast McKayla Maroney.
Aly Raisman, superstar Simone Biles.
You're saying you were sexually abused?
Yes, absolutely.
While you were out there representing your country?
Yes.
We're in the midst of the biggest sex abuse scandal in U.S. sports history, and the lack of accountability is staggering. Back in September of 2016, the Indianapolis Star came out with an explosive investigation that revealed rampant sex abuse against USA Gymnastics. The newspaper found that USA Gymnastics failed to report complaints of abuse dating back to 1996.
The system failed these women for 20 years.
Meet Larry Nassar, serial predator and former doctor at Michigan State University. He was the team physician for U.S. gymnasts at 4 Olympics. More than 140 women have come forward. That is the highest number of accusations against a single person in U.S. sports history.
I have vivid flashbacks of him assaulting me.
He sexually abused me hundreds of times.
It has been hell.
He touched the most innocent places on my body that day.
Everyone trusted him. I told myself I needed to trust him too.
The women have since filed criminal complaints against Nassar, accusing him of sexual abuse. They are also suing the organizations that failed to protect them. In multiple instances described in the lawsuits, victims reached out to other members of USA Gymnastics or MSU staff to no avail.
In 2014, I had an appointment with Larry Nassar for hip and back pain. At the end of a long and tiring appointment, that man sent his resident out of the room and then stuck his hand up my shirt and down my pants. I knew that he had abused me. I reported it. The investigation done by MSU was brief and sloppy, and it left me feeling disposable and worthless. Larry Nassar was cleared to practice again under new guidelines that were never actually enforced. Michigan State University, the school I loved and trusted, had the audacity to tell me that I did not understand the difference between sexual assault and a medical procedure.
In 2015, Nassar unceremoniously left his volunteer position at USA Gymnastics. It's unclear whether he was forced or retired. It's a he said, they said situation. But what is clear is that USA Gymnastics admits to knowing about Nassar in 2015. It alerted the FBI, but not the Olympic Committee, MSU police, or any other organizations where Nassar worked, which means Nassar continued working with and abusing children and students for another 14 months before the Indy Star report was published.
USA Gymnastics failed its most basic responsibility to protect the athletes under its care.
In December of 2017, Nassar was sentenced to 60 years in prison for child pornography.
How do you plead?
Guilty as stated, Your Honor.
At other hearings, he pled guilty to 10 counts of first-degree criminal sexual assault, and yet the organizations involved didn't exactly respond accordingly. USA Gymnastics hired a former federal prosecutor to conduct an investigation into how to protect their athletes. The result? 70 policy and procedural changes for the future of USA Gymnastics, none of which hold those in power accountable for their failure to protect hundreds of victims.
You claim you are deeply sorry for what we have gone through, but you have not listened to one word we have said.
After the Olympic Committee called for his resignation, USA Gymnastics President Steve Penny finally left in March of 2017 with $1 million severance package. No one else has been forced out. On the same day Nassar was sentenced, USA Gymnastics filed a motion to dismiss the civil lawsuits against them.
Shame on USA Gymnastics for doing that. You didn't need to do it today.
USA Gymnastics has not been stripped of any of its power. It still selects the Olympic and World Championship teams. And as for MSU,
I'm still on the search for my alma mater to take responsibility.
Only former women's gymnastics coach Kathy Klages was suspended with pay after her passionate defense of Nassar to a room full of collegiate gymnasts. She retired the following day.
Reports were made in 1998 and it was blown off by so many people, including Kathy. I went to her with the same exact report and she did the same thing to me.
No one else at MSU has been forced out either. Since Nassar was indicted,
I want to assure the survivors that we are all conducting a thorough and impartial investigation in this matter.
MSU hasn't released any findings about its handling of sexual assault claims, and it's denied any responsibility to the hundreds of victims.
Where were you when we needed you? If you would have only listened to all the women that brought complaints and concerns over all these years, this would have saved so many children and women from being abused.
And that leaves the United States Olympic Committee.
The Olympic community failed the people it was supposed to protect.
The national governing bodies of multiple Olympic sports have been inundated with massive institutionalized sexual abuse claims. USA Gymnastics, USA Swimming, US Speed Skating, and USA Taekwondo have all had their turn in the spotlight for years of abuse and cover-ups. The CEO of the Olympic Committee sent a letter of apology for Nassar's behavior, but he was clear that the committee was not aware and therefore has no responsibility. In 2017, the Olympic Committee created a new division to ensure the safety of its millions of athletes. But only 9 people and 4 contract investigators work in the office, and that office oversees millions of young athletes. Ultimately, no one at the Olympic Committee has had any disciplinary action as a result of these sex abuse scandals.
MSU, USAG, and USOC, you have yet to take responsibility for what happened on your watch.
So, basically the same people are still working, and none of these organizations have taken responsibility. But the victims will not be silenced any longer.
Little girls don't stay little forever. They grow into strong women that return to destroy your world.
You might have broken us, but from this rubble, we will rise.
Abusers, your time is up. The survivors are here, standing tall, and we are not going anywhere.